Apple have just announced their latest iPhone update, and it is probably the worst one we've received in a while. The biggest change is definitely to messages, where you can now see who the person you're talking to is talking to. This is a terrible outcome for the gaslighters and more specifically the football player community. Your iPhone will also recognize when your contacts are talking about you, and it gives you the option to jump into that conversation. Next up is an update to the alarm app, which I actually like. It sets up incentives to make sure you stop your alarm. So for example, it will wake up your contacts in 15 seconds if you don't stop your alarm. So yeah, another option is that you have to answer a few quiz questions to stop your alarm. They've also brought out a do disturb mode, which sets your volume to the loudest option and also allows notifications from everyone and every app. So basically what our mothers and kids under the age of 10 have had this whole time. They've also made a bit more of a maze for the slide to answer when you get an incoming phone call, just to avoid any accidental pickups. Let me know which feature you're most excited about and which one of your friends are screwed when this update comes.
姐，他50块钱看，你打仗啊？
在一个游戏，
你一根，我一根，你一根，我一根，你一根，我一根，好了，分好了。你不吃算了，那我把肉干全吃了。
哎呦我的妈！
一黑连队友，
这批人听我的命令，向敌人进攻！
保持我的态度，维系我高温度，放纵吧前进速度，朝着远处一步一步。
对7，
对配，对啊，4个9。
哎呦我的妈！
厉害吧？不，
我们是相亲相爱的一家人。
好，吃饭。
Scientists in South Korea have achieved
they told the stories that they had learned since they stopped writing things down, and they probably had to live like barbarians for thousands of years. But they always had the stories. It like literally the Big Bang. In the beginning, there was light. If you told that for thousands of years, that's what that would be.
Right.
The Adam and Eve in the garden, the creation, that someone created this. Like that they were trying to tell us, and that men can go down evil, wicked ways, and it can lead to destruction. And these are some of the symptoms that you'll see when it leads to destruction. It's like, this is like a map of civilization.
Right.
It's just so old, and it's been translated so many times from ancient Hebrew and Aramaic and all these different languages down to Greek and Latin and English finally. It's like, there's so much, like, what was really said? What was really going on? Because a lot of it seems too on the money. Like, if we wanted to try to put this through some sort of a logical filter or figure out, like, is someone really trying to warn us about the natural progression that all societies and all civilizations go down if you don't have a moral compass and if you don't follow and adhere to the rules of God?
Well, there's still stuff that hasn't yet. Right, like what has been prophesied that hasn't yet happened. So time will tell, right? I think his return is past due.
Like Dr. Manhattan.
Yeah.
If that would be the wildest, forget about UFOs. I mean, UFOs would be pretty wild. UFOs on the White House lawn would be wild. Jesus on the White House lawn, wow, that would be the game changer.
I pray for that. Like, come back,
God,
please.
Do you think people would even believe it? They would think, oh my God.
of Wisdom.
Stop wearing glasses. The longer you wear glasses and cover up your eyes, the thicker your glass gets, because your eyes become worse. Your brain will adapt to the new thickness of the lens, and the eye will start to work less. Your eyes are muscles. You need to train them to become stronger. You're blocking the sun's rays from getting into the eyes. Whatever is in your visual field goes into the brain, and then the brain will then affect the central nervous system. So whatever you see is having an effect on your whole body. This is why they don't want you looking at the sun anymore, because the sun's rays can actually heal the eyes and heal the body. This is why they promote sunglasses, because sunglasses block the sun from entering into your eyes and awakening your pineal gland and stimulating the body's electrical nervous system.
Link is in my bio for the Book of Wisdom.
PDF or paperback copies available in various languages, shipping worldwide. Visit www.bookofwisdom.net.
1980, a towering monument emerged on a 5-acre plot of farmland in Elbert County, Georgia. Comprised of 4 monolithic slabs of granite, the Georgia Guidestones bore inscriptions outlining principles for a supposedly more peaceful and orderly society. Erected under the cloak of anonymity, the identity of the monument's creator, known only as R.C. Christian, remained a closely guarded secret for 4 decades. The principles etched into the Guidestones hinted at a dystopian vision for humanity, advocating for concepts such as population control, eugenics, a global language, and a world court. While some interpreted these ideals as noble aspirations, others saw them as ominous directives heralding the dawn of the new world order. The Guidestones consisted of 4 massive slabs of granite set in a paddle wheel formation, supporting a central capstone. Each of the 4 vertical slabs was inscribed with 10 guidelines or principles in 8 different languages, 1 language on each face of the 4 slabs. The inscriptions are the same in 8 languages: Arabic, Chinese, Swahili, Hindi, Russian, English, Spanish, and Hebrew. They advocate for humanity to limit population and personal desires to maintain balance with the environment. The 10 guidelines are as follows: maintain humanity under 500 million in perpetual balance with nature. Guide reproduction wisely. Improving fitness and diversity. Unite humanity with a living new language. Rule passion, faith, tradition, and all things with tempered reason. Protect people and nations with fair laws and just courts. Let all nations rule internally, resolving external disputes in a world court. Avoid petty laws and useless officials. Balance personal rights with social duties. Prize truth, beauty, love. A group of anonymous Americans. The purpose and the identity of the people behind the Guidestones have been a topic of much speculation and conspiracy theory. Critics have interpreted the messages in various ways, with some viewing them as a call for wise stewardship of the earth, and others seeing them as an ominous sign of a new world order's agenda. In July 2022, the Guidestones were damaged in a bomb attack and subsequently demolished due to, quote, safety concerns. Despite their destruction, the structure was designed to have certain astronomical features. For instance, a hole drilled through the capstone served as a nodal point to observe the North Star. Another slot aligned with the solstices and equinoxes, allowing sunlight to pass through and indicate the day of the year. A slab adjacent to the Guidestones mentioned a time capsule buried below it, but the dates of burial and opening were never inscribed, leading to questions about whether a time capsule actually exists and, if so, what it might contain. Apart from the hole through which the North Star could be observed, the Guidestones also had a slot aligned with the solstices, allowing a beam of sunlight to pass through and illuminate the day's date on an engraving. One side of the capstone is inscribed with the words, "Let these be Guidestones to an age of reason," in 4 ancient languages: Babylonian cuneiform, classical...
If you do this, it's the Antichrist cross, which represents the brain and the heart and cutting the connection. The reason why this is bad is because the heart and the brain are directly connected. The cranial brain does the thinking, but every thought you think creates an emotion felt in the heart. In fact, the heart has its own neural network of 40,000 specialized cells, which are the same ones in your brain. So the heart is your second brain. However, the cranial brain has 2 hemispheres, therefore thinking with it can cause confusion and dualism. The heart has an intelligence of its own, just like the brain. However, it's a singular organ. It does not have 2 hemispheres. So when we say follow your heart, this is a deep meaning because the heart has an intelligence of its own which is guiding you. And this is why Jesus is always pointing at the heart. In Freemasonry, the heart is symbolized as the book because the heart intelligence is what you need to read to guide you through this life experience. The heart is what tells you what is right and what is wrong. And when you follow your heart long enough, it takes you to your life purpose. It's easy to listen to your heart intelligence. You have to turn off the thoughts, place your hand on your heart just like Jesus's, and this will tell you the right answer. They don't want us connected to our hearts because we are all an infinite consciousness expressed in different bodies, and love is the unifying force that will bring humanity.
We may have actually been way more advanced in the past than we are today.
Did you know there was an electric moving sidewalk 123 years ago at the World's Fair in Paris, stretching 543 acres along the Seine River? The grounds of the 1900 Exposition Universelle were the biggest in history. And just like all the other World's Fairs, almost everything was destroyed afterwards, including this incredible electric moving sidewalk. It was elevated above the street on a 23-foot tall iron viaduct and consisted of 3 sections. One was stationary while the other ones moved continuously at 3 miles per hour and 6 miles per hour. The 2.5-mile loop was constructed around the perimeter of the central square. Using the 6 miles per hour walkway allowed visitors to circumnavigate the square in roughly 25 minutes, all while standing still and sightseeing. The predecessor of this walkway was at an earlier Chicago World's Fair. Along the same route but moving in the opposite direction was an elevated railway system that visitors could use to get around more quickly. However, the electric walkway could accommodate up to 14,000 people at one time. On its busiest day, it carried 70,000 people in one afternoon. The gigantic scale of the exposition made it virtually impossible to see everything, which is why the Rue de l'Avenir was so popular. It was convenient and entertaining.
We could have been traveling the stars by now. Let me know what you think in the comments. Stay.
I owed him up. Huh? I owed him up. I owed him a...